everyone. I'm sorry that this video is a little bit late. The Criollo has been out for a few days, but I hope you'll find my review interesting anyways. But I am excited, so let's get into it. First initial thought is that I'm very happy that they're actually south of farm, because I feel like this place hasn't gotten love in a very long time. So I am very happy to see that so many people were visiting the place. We'll do our usual, we'll look at the quotes and then we'll get on with the actual review in the writing arena. As you can see, I actually already own this one because I was planning on buying one because I ran out of horses to train, and then I thought I might as well buy this one and then ride it a little bit and level it because we need to look at the special moves and everything. But then I realized that I don't want to I want this to be a first impression, so it's just standing there in my stall at the moment. But I have bought this one, as you might see. One thing I do want to say is that of course I've seen some of this horse now previously before it was released. So this is not a complete first impression, but I haven't formed an opinion. I haven't analyzed it at all, haven't looked into it in depth at all. So that's what we're doing that today together. But my first thought when I saw these coats initially was that I thought that they were amazing. I really love how rich they feel. Okay, you know me, I don't know colors. I just look at horses. I like horses, okay? I'm not a color nerd necessarily, so I don't know all the correct terms and blah, blah, blah. So let's not get into me for not knowing if this is an O'Rare or Torero or Sabino or whatever. But it's a pretty pony, okay? I think that they look beautiful. I love the details of this one. This is probably one of my favorites. This little, kind of done-ish horse. I think this one looks beautiful. It looks so cute. I love how it's the color's rich but also a little bit muted, and I love that. This one I bought, as you can see, and honestly I just love how simple it was with the small details, so that's why I bought this one. This little roanish washed out bay looking thing I adore because I love how fluffy it looks. It really does look like it has a lot of fur. And I think it looks like such a cute pony. This Palomino is so rich in color with the dappling and everything, and just I love the contrast between the mane and the tail. Really love it. Always a sucker for black and white horses. This paint looks so good. And the Grilla was really nice as well. It kind of does remind me of a fjord, especially if you put the roach mane on it. But I decided to go against this one and get this one instead, because I also feel like I haven't really bought any light horses lately, so that's the one I went for. The mane styles are really interesting. I didn't know much about this horse beforehand. I have no experience with Criollos in real life, and I also going to keep saying Criollos. I know that a video went out on socials yesterday with our boss Gonzalo grilling the office on how they pronounce it. I'm gonna keep saying Criollo. I'm sorry. It just sounds fake if I try to say it anywhere else. But I love this little knotted tail, and I love how it looks with the with the color differences in all the horses. This mane, I don't really know why they shave it and then leave a little bit here. I'm assuming it's to show off the neck, but it does make them look very cute, and it really does accentuate the neck very well. So I love that one. And the one with the loose tail, super cute. Love the roached, adorable. Like I said, the gorilla with the roached does kind of look like a fjord, or it doesn't really look like a fjord, but it reminds me of a fjord anyways. The shaved, I will not be shaving because I love manes on my horses. The braids are super pretty. I was debating on getting the braids for the one that I bought. You have button braids and the normal sport mane that I'm probably going to be switching to later on. But I bought this one. As for the coats in general, I love them. I think they look really good. I'm so excited. And I'm also very excited to see whatever variations comes out of this one in the future, because the Criollo has so many pretty colors. I lied. I apparently have the short mane on. That just shows how little I've actually paid attention to this horse. Regardless, let's just have a look at how this horse actually appears. Why have I forgotten how to do a bridge review? I don't remember. First impressions of this horse, which is, of course, I've looked at it before, and I think this horse is beautiful. It has a really nice side profile. It is long in the back, which I've seen some people not be a fan of, which is fair enough. But from what I've seen and from what I've been able to tell, the breed is actually quite long. It does have a long back. It's pretty small breed, short legs, pretty long back, pretty strong, right? Quite beefy. And I think that this side profile looks really nice. It looks like I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like a show pony, like a Welsh or something, which obviously I know it's not, and I know that there are differences to the Welsh, but I just mean in the way that it like carries itself. It looks very proud. It has a very stoic kind of side profile. I love the face of this horse and the face and the neck of this horse. I think that they are absolutely beautiful. I just think it's a gorgeous, detailed breed. It looks very, very pretty. I just love the face and the expression of it with the small little ears. It's so cute. I know that this breed is not a pony, but it's small and it's cute. It's kind of a pony, right? I'm gonna keep calling it pony. It's small and it's cute and it's adorable and I love it. It's a cute little pony. I love the tail. I love how thick it is. I love the blunt cut of it because it just like looks, there's just so much hair and it's out of control. And it just looks so fluffy. I love the different sections because it does look like a horse with a thick tail often gets like kind of dreadlocks, right? I want to do that anyways. And they kind of like twist together in locks, and this horse's tail looks like it has a lot of like almost curls and swirls and whatever. And the blunt cut and like the small like flaked out tips, I think it just looks really good. I'm tempted to go get the long mane actually, because I have ridden this horse a little bit in the before release. I remember being very baffled at the mane animation, so let me actually just change that. Just because I want to see it like as it's intended, you know, as God intended. Because I'm not really a fan of long manes on horses. Depends a little bit on the horse, but like just as a sport horse person, it's impractical, right? But I want to see this mane in like its full animation glory, if you will. So that's what we're gonna have a look at it with the long mane. I don't have much more to say about the side profile or like the idols or anything. I think it looks cute. It feels spry and stoic and adorable. I love it. It's so cute, and I feel from what I've seen in my feeds and everything, it does great in pictures. So I'm very excited. Can't wait. So let's get right into it with the walk. So the walk itself, I think it feels nice. It feels relaxed. It has a little bit of head bobbing, but it is I don't think you could call this a gaited breed, but this horse makes me think of like Pieris or like Lusitanos or whatever, and Andalusians, the ones that aren't, I don't think they're classified as gaited, correct me if I'm wrong, but they do have a lot of gait. And they have a lot of like movement, kind of the Pasofino as well makes you think of it. It's just like there's a lot of movement in the legs, but they're usually pretty steady from what I can see. Like it's not like a dressage horse that's gonna like, you know, has a ton of schwung and like bounces off the ground. It's kind of like pretty floor bound while still being very how do I put this? While still being pretty like active in the legs. And this walk feels very smooth and nice. I see no signs of obvious clipping. Nothing too strange. I love the expression of this horse. It looks so like active and engaged. I'm a big fan of like the expression and the general vibe of this horse. So the walk itself, I think it looks really good. There's a little bit of bending here, like it's pretty round instead of being like sharp by the knee here. Which doesn't necessarily look bad, but I'm a little bit worried of what that can entail for the higher gaits. That's all I'm noticing. Like it's pretty, the edge, like the knee is pretty soft, if you will. But we'll see how that looks later on. So let's have a look at the trot. Okay, so here's what I was talking about. Like it's kind of steady with a lot of movement in the legs. This is kind of what I pictured like a, I don't have much real life experience, but what I've seen and from what I can like my impression of say like a Pieris or something like that, maybe an Andalusian as well, it's like there's a lot of movement in the legs but not a lot of movement like through the back. It's not this type of horse that like rounds itself. It's like carries itself like this. It is because it is very steady. I think my main point of focus is still the hind legs here. It's kind of what I was afraid of. Very dramatic. But it does like, it's a very pointy butt. Like if you see this, it feels like the hind legs almost go a little bit too far forward. And I'm not sure if that's a cause of like the long back that's throwing it off a little bit. It's just like, you see how sharp it is? Like the butt muscle goes so far forward. It loses its shape a little bit, which I think kind of gives it a little bit of a like a ducktail, which I think accentuates the very long back already. So this is my like area of concern. Sounds so pretentious, but I think I see what, or I'm assuming that they've tried to do that like steady trot where it's like not a lot of movement. It's very comfortable. I can't sit down because the horse is too low level, but like it looks very consistent, if you will. Obviously not like on the vertical head carriage, but I guess you can. I mean, the horse is like advertised as being very versatile, and I think it can be. Like it has a very nice sporty model. The gaits just aren't maybe warm bloody. Big air quotation marks on that one, but I hope you guys understand what I mean. It's always, I'm just spewing whatever comes to mind during these videos, and then we'll see how much makes it into the final cut, because sometimes I'm just repeating myself for 5 minutes. Anyways, I kind of it's an artistic choice, and I think this is probably a breed, like, do you like this breed? Are you familiar with this breed? You probably prefer this. I like, from a personal opinion, this is maybe not my favorite type of trot, but I respect that this breed doesn't care what I think, you know? This breed is not for me. This is not my horse, if that makes sense. But it's still so freaking cute, and the ears are killing me. But it's just like it's ground bound, it's very flat. My least favorite part about it is the hind legs and the butt. There's a pretty clear difference in the height of the hips from walk to trot. Like it crouches over, because when it's standing it has a really nice shape of the barrel. Like it's drawn up towards like the groin area, but when it starts trotting it loses that shape a little bit and becomes a little bit more sausage dog. It's like a wiener dog. It loses its shape a little bit, which I think is why it accentuates that like hunched over back end, which is like it looks like it sits down, but like in an uncomfortable way a little bit. I think the front looks fine. Like it looks steady enough, it keeps marching on. But yeah, I think that's my issue with it. That's my issue with the hind legs. It kind of falls through a little bit and looks a little bit stiff and uncomfortable. But it's definitely not terrible. Not the worst trot out there, but not my favorite. I don't mind the head carriage, like the open frame and everything, but the hind legs is there's a pretty, like, you can see a pretty noticeable difference when I go from walk to trot. Sorry that I am coughing the whole time. So I guess that's my main concern, if you will. Like it loses its shape in the barrel and it kind of hunches over a little bit. I love how strong the horse looks. Really good. Like I love how fluid the mane looks. Of course, we ignore the reins clipping. They do that, but like the mane itself and the tail as well. Like they look so fluid. They look very it looks like hair. It looks like there's a ton of hair. I guess let's have a look at the collected canter. Oh, that's nicer than I expected. That sounds mean, but just because of the hunched over trot, I expected it to be a little bit more hunched over in the canter as well, but it's not. That looks really nice. Oh, look at the mane. It looks so good. Now it keeps the shape in the barrel a little bit more, and it's like collected but not exaggerated. I love this frame that it's working in now. Like this looks really nice. Here I can see the dressage motivation or whatever, like the argument for having it in English competitions as well. I love this frame. I'm not entirely sure if this should be the moment where the leg is straight. It's a little bit hard to tell. I'm surprised at how much I like that. How much I like the collected canter. It looks really, really nice. It just looks very fluid and like well balanced without being like exaggerated. I think the butt keeps its shape a little bit better here. Still maybe a little bit of like it reaches quite far forward, but I feel like it keeps its shape a little bit better here. It looks really good. I love this one. Like this one looks gorgeous. Yeah, I really like this collected canter actually. This is very impressive. Because despite being so long, being such a long breed, it doesn't look necessarily heavy, but it also doesn't look weirdly exaggerated, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't look like it's it doesn't look very long in a sense. Like it doesn't look, the horse doesn't look like it's out of collection or whatever. I think I'm very impressed with that. And the head carriage is very nice. The movement through the neck is very smooth. Maybe still a little bit stiff through the back, but I think too much movement would have just given it like warm, you know? Yeah, like it looks good. This looks like a good average canter. It's not exaggerated like as a dressage canter or whatever. It just looks really nice. It would have been nice to have the front right leg to stretch out a little bit more. Let's see if I can try to get that moment with full extension. This is supposedly full extension, I think, and it does look a little bit, it doesn't go fully like pointed. I would have liked it to like stretch a little bit more, but definitely not bad. This is probably this is one of my favorites. I think the collected canters. It just feels very smooth and nice. Also doesn't feel hollow, because sometimes the collected canters often go hollow. And a lot of the horses I've noticed, like it feels just like it drops its back and like looks very constrained. This one just looks really nice. It's forward while still being collected, so I really like that one. Let's just have a look at the middle canter. Oh, okay. So here we come back to the back legs for me. Like look at how this one, like the collected canter, it's going back, but in a very appropriate way. Like I think this moment of extension is so nice. It's appropriate, it doesn't feel exaggerated, looks very good. For the middle canter, it feels like the whole back end shifted backwards. And also it's gone lower again, like we spoke about with the trot. Like here it goes low, it goes like hunched over, here it lifts itself again, and then here it goes back down. So it just looks a little bit strange. Like there's a lot of like the stretching or whatever, it goes very far back here, which feels a little bit disproportionate to the amount of energy that this gait should be putting out. But this yeah, it's especially the hunched over part. Like why is it not more stretched out? It's not carrying itself. It falls through its fetlocks, and like which gives it this super hunched over look. Like I feel like this leg should be stretched out here. Like it looks like two separate horses here. It feels like the back end is way too small. But the front looks okay. There is like a floaty moment. Like it feels like it holds the let's see if I can get it. It feels like it holds this position a little bit too long. Like it like and then goes forward again. And then goes forward again. I don't know if you can see what I mean here. It's like like it's not a fluid motion. This is like a floaty section where it just feels like it holds the front legs for a second. I don't know if that makes sense. But that surprises me because the middle canters are usually the ones that I really like. And you can see there's a ton of lift here, which looks very awkward. Like this doesn't really make sense. And I think this would have been fixed if the butt would have been lifted a little bit, because you can see how like awkwardly uphill it is, but not in the sense of carrying itself, because all the legs are behind it right now. Like this angle of the back would have probably made sense if it would have been at like the moment where the horse has its legs in front. I'm thinking of like, let's say the Dutch warm blood, right? Like that angle would have made sense there, but not here, because it's like dragging itself now. But somehow it's dragging itself upwards, if that makes sense. I just think that there's a little bit too much going on here. It could have done with being stretched out a little bit more. That's a shame. That's not my favorite, but the collected canter is really nice. The middle is just not really I was hoping for, if you will. It's just a bit too hunched over, and that makes it look a little bit awkward. I think the front end doesn't look bad. quite a bit of warping going on here in the little shoulder muscle area. Ooh, well, sorry. I like the neck movement, looks good. It's just the back. It's the back on this horse, unfortunately. Yeah, not much more to add about that. Let's have a look at the extended then. Oh god, okay. I like how this is like, this feels like one of the more clear 4-beat gaits. Because sometimes I feel like with the extended canters, or like the full gallop, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's called the gallop, whatever. Like the gallops, sometimes the back legs feel a little bit connected, and it's kind of like they almost bunny hop a little bit. But for this one, it felt really separated, which I appreciate that. There's just a lot of movement going on here. I like the front part. Again, looks really good. But again, it's just too hunched over. Also, this is a very big extension. Like, very big. It feels almost a little bit too much. Like, the whole back end section here is pulling out. It's also pulling down the back a little bit. There's a pretty big angle here. Let me turn off the reshoot so I can see it a little bit better. Like, there's a pretty big angle here, which I'm not sure how I feel about. It just kind of breaks its back a little bit, which I think is because of this exaggerated movement. It's just like it's stretching out a little bit too much, a little bit more than the model can handle. But I do really appreciate the very clear separation between the back hooves. Oh, here you can see, because you can see it in the saddle pad. Like, this angle is very strange. Like, the front part, like, it feels a little bit disconnected. The front part feels really good, and it's like light and up, and then it kind of breaks apart in the middle, and then you have the back end that's very just like hunched over. It's a shame because the collected Kenja looks so good, but then it just like falls apart and goes very disconnected. And again, I'm not expecting like big flashy movement and super airy strides. I'm more just like a little bit bummed that it's like so separated. That's my biggest issue, I guess, with this one. But yeah, I don't know, like it just feels a little bit disconnected. That's the best way I can put it. There's a lot of stretch here. Like, at this moment, I feel like this should be almost downhill. But it's, like, pretty much linear still. Almost a little bit up. Like, the withers is still, like, the highest point. Which I guess, yes, it is a very high-risen, high-strung, and very risen breed. But it's, like... I feel like this could have probably been... It could have been polished a little bit more, I think. But it does look... Like, I don't mind it, but it's just like kind of, I don't want to say it reminds me of the Finn horse because I feel like that it does a disconnect, but it's just more like I guess it reminds me a little bit of the Morgan as well. It's just like there's a disconnect between the front and the back of the horse. It doesn't feel like it's one horse, and yeah, sure, it's long, but I don't see why that should be the issue. It's just like it does the thing that I've said this about horses before in the past, and I mean a lot of animations are often retargeted and whatever, like they bring it over from one horse to another, so it makes sense that this is probably one of them that has been brought over and then tweaked a little bit for this one. But like, this is what I don't like, that it hunches over so much. Like it collapses in the hind legs a little bit and loses its carriage. And like I said, not expecting a dressage like super light stride or whatever. It's just I don't want one that's like hunched over, because it looks like it has back pain, right? Like it looks like it's like trying to protect its back. That's what it feels like to me, and that's why I think it feels so uncomfortable. But the collected canter is so nice. I love that one, and I love how smooth and chilled the walk feels. Love it. Like, that's really good. Trot is okay, hunches over a little bit. Really like the collected canter, looks so good. The slow gallop, or whatever you want to call this, it's okay, but it does hunch over quite a bit. Like, you see how it, like, how contracted it is. And then this one is like, here's a pretty big disconnect. I love the big stride, I love the clear 4-beat pattern. It just feels like it's a little bit much. But it's just like, it breaks apart a little bit here, ahead of the SI joint or whatever. And it's also like, the horse isn't reaching massively in front. Like it has pretty short legs, right? So there's not a huge reach. But then there's a huge reach in the back. It exaggerates the disconnect a little bit. At all points, I love the head carriage, I must say. I really love the head, and the neck animation I think looks really good. Like it has a nice stretch. It does look very good in front. It's just the back legs. This is one of those horses that I don't really like the back legs, unfortunately. I usually take pictures of the front anyways, right? As per usual, let's have a look at the jumps. Alright, let's start off with the collected canter. I'm here. That's pretty cute. I think it's chill enough. I love the mane. Like the mane animation is so good. There's a weird, slightly weird cut here in the like physics or whatever, but like the animation feels so smooth. We've come a long way since the Gen 3 region. But that looks really good. This is cute. I love the ear. Like, look at this expression. Oh my god. Ah! Look how cute it is. I'm obsessed. Like, the face is adorable. I love it. I just love how, like, it looks so happy. It looks happy all the time. He's like, happy to be included. Okay. Middle canter. Oh. That's okay. That's an interesting reach. How is this physically possible? Oh, you're not breaking your ribs here. Okay, I don't like that. I don't mind a bad jumper. Oh, you can even see how it like disconnects from the barrel here. Nice. Okay, don't like that. Like you can see how it disconnects from the actual abdomen animation here. The back legs have completely folded in on themselves. That does not look good. Like I don't mind a bad jumper, but a bad jumper can still be animated well, if that makes sense. And unfortunately, I don't think this one is. Okay, I don't mind, because this is what I'm talking about. Like, this can be a bad jumper, right? Like it is for hanging front legs. Fair enough, right? Whatever. Like, a horse can be a bad jumper. Not every horse is a jumper, or it will jump well. There's a bit of weird warping here going on in the neck. Like, this is like, it looks like it's being choked out. But like the front legs hanging, don't mind that. It can be done well. Like here, it's fine. Like that's okay. It's like, it's just not very like collected or whatever. Like it opens up quite nicely. And, like that's also fine. But then here, what happens there? I don't know why it... Like this looks very strange. I don't know what happened here. And we'll disregard the landing position of the rider. I feel like that's a whole different story. Because one thing that I loved about, like say the Norker actually like turns through a lot. I love jumping the Norker, like from like just racing it and jumping it, because it actually feels like it's clearing the jumps, not jumping up and then floating down. The jump finishes too early thing is an issue with the state machine, right? And that's something that's being worked on, and it will hopefully at some point in the future it will be fixed, right? Like we won't have that issue, but the animations can still be good and like finishing through. This is something that I will talk about at another point. Story for another time. But anyways, like what I love about the Norker is that it actually like finishes up and then steps down. And some people were complaining that it looked like it was falling forward or whatever. Like it had the front legs quite under itself, because it actually landed, you know, groups its legs together and then stretches out for the new stride. This horse is like, what is happening here? I do not like that. You can animate a bad jumper well, but this horse is a bad jumper and it's not very well animated. Like that just feels like, it almost looks like it missed something that they've missed, right? Like that's very exaggerated. This jump actually looks fair enough. This almost looks like it's retargeted from the paint horse, to be honest. This looks really nice. I'm impressed at how it jumps all of a sudden. Like what happened here? It looks so well. Like it jumps so well through its back there. What? Fair enough, I don't know. I mean, maybe it learned, but that just like surprises me. Oh. Like the difference is huge. I swear that's the paint horse jump. Yeah, it jumps. This has to be the paint horse jump. Like, it looks exactly, I swear it is. And that's good because I like the paint horse. I just don't know what happens in the middle canter. Like, the rest looks fine. The collected, oh, a bit. Collected is good. Middle is what? And then extended is good. It's like, what's happening? Yeah. That's nice because then you can actually like use it for jumping picture because it actually looks good. What do we have left? We have special move, special gate. I need to level up the horse for that. No worries. We have the rear and we have the hard stop. So let's look at the rear and the hard stop first. Start up with the hard stop. Come on. And up. Oh yes, I do remember this one actually. And it looks awesome. I love this hard stop. It's supposed to be a reference to something that they do in a show, I believe. Like this is like that's something that they compete in, question mark. I'm not a Criollo expert. I'll leave that to other people who are way more qualified and way more educated. But I swear I've seen that like it's supposed to be a reference to a move or something. They do. And I love the little hops. Like, it looks really good because it actually feels like it like catches itself, and it's not supposed to be a raining stop like the paints or whatever. It's still like it slides in the back, but obviously doesn't slide in the front or like almost trots in the front that the Western horses do. I love that, and I love how smooth it feels. Like, it's really nice. It's almost like the opposite of the Norker that like hopped with its back legs. It's also a damn cool pose. Love it. I love that hard stop. It looks really nice. I know it's supposed to be like a Criollo thing, but I kind of hope that they retarget it for something else. Something I don't like, by the way, that I noticed is that our character is very wide on it. Like, it's not even connecting. I know it's a small horse, but then, like, it feels like something happens here. Because when we're standing, there's like a massive gap. And then when we start walking in it, like, that looks better. That looks way better. And the trot, obviously, you're stretching out. Also goes out a little bit, but like the standing still, like, whew. Okay, that was not what I was supposed to look like, sorry. Or look at. Let's have a look at the rear then. Is the rear, I remember, because I have written it a little bit in the editor before it was released. I was taking some pictures for socials. And I love the rear. So, let's see if it's as good as I remember it. Yeah, it is. I love how it just like collects and then like ha, like there's like this big crescendo. This one is cool. Like, it's very big. It's almost. I don't want to say that it's unstable, but like it really, there's a lot of movement, and like your rear is very high. Like, this little look to the side, how freaking cool is that? I love the rear of this horse. This has gotta be like one of my favorite rears. Like, it combines the high legs, which some other horses have tried, but then it just like looks awkward. But for this one, it looks really, really good. I'm so impressed. I love this rear so much. Like, I feel like you can have like a million different photos and like looks of it. Ugh. I adore this rear. It's so good. So good. I guess that concludes what we currently have. I will be training it a little bit, and then I'll come back with the special move and special gate. But through the magic of editing, I'll see you in a second. Except it would have been a second if I wasn't an idiot who forgot to actually press play on a recording, which I didn't realize until I was actually editing this. So here we are. I didn't have much to add about the special move and the special gate. Other than I think it's very cool. I love this little double spin. It's super cute, and I love how it hops. I know it's not supposed to be the kind of spin that like the Western horses do. It's just a completely different thing. And I love how expressive it is, and it feels really like bouncy. Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. He's very upset with me. Anyways, it feels very expressive. I love how it hops. He's very springy, you know? And again, the face is just adorable. This is an animation that is very hard to actually get right. And with right, I mean like no joints that are out of place or bending slightly awkwardly. There's a few frames where the knees or the fetlocks in the front maybe look a little bit strange, But honestly, I don't blame them because it's a very difficult animation to do because it's just so fast. And I mean, in real life, I feel like there's a lot of moments where the real life horses also would look strange. So I put no weight on that. But in general, I think that this animation is super, super cute. I adore it. My only little gripe is that when it ends, when it finishes spinning, it kind of slides back into position 0, because you can see here, it's like whoop, a slight slide back, but that's my only like thing with it, even though I'm being super picky at this point. As for the pace, I think it's a very well animated pace. It does go a little bit slightly lower in the back, but I feel like you can see the difference in how the back actually keeps its shape. If you compare it to the trot, like you see how it dips in front of the hips, kind of. When you compare it to the trot, like this shape looks way better, in my opinion. So I like the pace, so it's definitely not bad. Now, let's get back to the original recording for the outro that I did manage to record, actually. My bad. Alright, well, that is it for this video. And as you might have seen in the title, this is going to be my last one. The reason for that is not because I'm sick of it. I love analyzing the horses, but this is the last horse that I'm not involved in. I say. I am not animating. Context maybe is good. I realize, sorry, because I don't think I talk about it too much. And if I do, I'm sorry. But if you're unaware, in August last year, I started working for 𝘲té𝖺. I'm the community manager, which is an honor and a privilege, and I absolutely love my job. And I love my job even more now because for the next upcoming horse, which has been teased in our socials already, and I can say that it's going to be the 𝘠𝑦urian. The opinion for that one has already been asked in social medias, so I'm not spoiling anything, don't worry. But that's the next horse, and I've been heavily involved in it. I've had the massive honors of sitting in and giving my opinions and giving feedback throughout the process so far. I'm not sure how far along through the process we are, but it's not done yet. But I'm so excited about it. I know I'm going to be excited for more reasons than one, but especially because it's a warm blood, right? I love warm bloods, like hello. So I'm super excited for that one, and I've had the massive honors of sitting in and giving my opinions and my feedback of the horse along the process, which means it would be very weird of me to make a bridge review of it when I've been able to sit in meetings and give my opinion directly to the animators and to the team. Like, why would I sit here and be like, oh, I think this would have been better? Like, why didn't you say that? Instead, I'm hoping to do something a little bit different. I won't speak on it because I want to jinx it, and I'm hoping it's going to work out. But I will see you when the 𝘠𝑦urian comes out. Don't worry about it. But it won't be a bridge review like this one. But still, we'll have a look together. Don't worry. As for the Criollo itself, I really like it. I think it looks very nice. The model is super cute, adorable, attentive. I love it. The gaits aren't my favorite, unfortunately. The model looks really nice, and the walk looks nice, and the collected canter is nice. The collected canter jump and the gallop jump are nice. The rear is amazing. The rear, oh, how did I forget about the rear? I like the double spin as well, but the rear is incredible, and I also really like the hard stop, actually. So I like this horse. I probably won't get another one right now because I've been obsessed with the Dutch warm-bloods lately, and I've got almost every one of them. So, but this horse, at some point I'll probably get another one because it does have gorgeous coat colors. It's just so cute. I'm not a huge fan of small horses, but this one is adorable. Ah, my heart. Like, look at him. Look at his little face. So big fan. I think they did well. Some stuff could have been improved, but overall, I really like the horse. I do. As always, I love to hear what you guys think about the horse. You've also had a few days now to try it out yourself, so please let me know what you think of it, and I would love to hear your opinion in the comments below. Without further ado, I'll say bye and see you in the next video. Bye!